So, good evening, everybody. We are officially off to a great start. We had some music, we waited for people to come in from the traffic. My name, as I said, is Thembisa Mdoda-Nxumalo, and I'll be facilitating this conversation this evening. It's so great to have so many people here from different walks of life coming through to gain knowledge, but also to have a collaborative conversation. Um, I mean, I am an actress and a presenter, a businesswoman trying to be. And so you're asking yourself, a whole actress, what are you doing in this kind of space? I think that speaks to the kind of conversation, a kind of transformation, and the kind of masterclass that I think we should have in our country, where different industries come together and share knowledge in order to network and create a big and robust vehicle where we can take over the world because I believe we can. I absolutely believe we can. So today is the Secret Garden of Relationship and Collaborations, and we have great speakers to this evening. And also remember, it's a conversation, which is why we have the chat room down there. If you have your questions, we will have a Q&A. But if you want to say something, if you want to, chirp into the conversation, please do. We welcome you. This is a collaborative effort. This is the lab space that we're creating here, courtesy of Old Mutual and Smego. So then, I think we'd like to introduce our first speaker this evening, Prishani Nundkisun. She's a transformational life coach. She's also a risk manager and also has 14 years of internal audit experience. Proud Toastmaster, so am I, and has consistently enjoyed speaking and training and hosting events. So her life motto is to live, love, and learn daily, which I think is incredibly important. Every day is a learning curve. Every day we learn from each other. And I cannot wait to hear what she has in store for us today. Take it away, Prishani.
Thembisa, you are the epitome of the evidence of collaborative relationships. If we can have you in this room this evening, our job here is done. The secret garden is evident with you being right here. But ladies and gentlemen, guests of this evening, you are also here, and how excited are we to have you in the secret garden room? Now, the question I have for you is, if you had to go to, say, a zoo or, say, a game reserve or the Kruger National Park, and you could see just one animal, just one, what would it be? Let me know in the chat. If you could see just one animal, what would that animal actually be? You see, most of us might say lion. Let me know in the chat if you could see. There we go. We've got Timmy giving us a lion. I see a lot of lions, elephants. Now, as these answers are flowing in, my question to you is, if you kept seeing that same animal the entire time that you were in the zoo or the game reserve or the Kruger National Park, coming back to your friends and family and saying, guess what? Look at what I saw, a lion and a lion and a lion and a lion. Something would be wrong with that picture. Because in the animal kingdom and in South Africa, as much as we love the lion, the truth of it is that we love the diversity. We love the stories about the animals. And although we may take out our phones and click, click, click at the lion, the truth is that by the end of our trip, we've gained respect for every single animal out there, large or small. Now, a few weeks ago, I had the privilege of being at a game reserve, and I was just a few meters away from the lions, safely in my game reserve vehicle. But actually, the most interesting journey of it all was going to the camp with the wild dogs, learning how interestingly they interact with each other. They work alpha male and alpha female. And if there's a sign of weakness, someone gets killed and it's over. The animal kingdom is rough out there. But I saw lions, I saw wild dogs, elephants, zebra, wildebeest. What has that got to do with the conversation today? Seeing them all made the experience as rich as I felt it to be. It was an ecosystem working together for survival. As loud and as proud as that lion roared, everyone, large or small, had a role to play. Now, wonderful people, and I see there's lots of familiar names in the room. There's some I haven't met yet, but I see Timmy, I see Nozipo, Dr. Letiwe, I saw Poilano in the room. I want to know from you, if you had to work with just one person for a week, do you have someone in mind? Would you work with them for a month, 6 months, a decade? I had a work bestie. He worked with me for probably 5 or 6 years. I loved working with him. But the reality is that we don't just work with one people. We know that proverb. We've heard it. And it says if you want to go fast, go alone or with that work bestie. But if you want to go far, go together. The reality is that whoever's in this room today, whether you are the actor, whether you are the musician, whether you are the auditor, whether you are an engineer, architect in the media, the reality is that we have stakeholders. And in 2024, our stakeholders are far and wide. They're not just in this country. They are everywhere. The reality is that we know deep inside that life is more rich and diverse when there is a diversity of people. But here's the problem. Their differences can shake us. Their differences can actually overwhelm us. And as a transformation coach this evening, all I want to do is share with you a tool I have used year after year after year to help me to smooth those differences out, to make my relationships with people more comfortable, so that when I go to bed at night, I'm not replaying my conversation with my boss, replaying my conversation with my peer, with my clients, with my stakeholders, and going, I wish I said that. I wish I'd presented that. I wish I'd done that. This is the moment where we have the opportunity to prepare better and have stronger stakeholder relationships. Now, we have a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have the whole evening. And so all I'm going to ask you is, if you have a pen and paper, if you have your phone out, I want you to just write one thing this evening that you're going to stop doing. One thing you're going to start doing, and one thing you're going to continue doing. And if you can build on that, that's fantastic. But let's actually just start there. In 2015, I had the privilege of doing a detailed assessment that spoke to what are your natural strengths. Now, if you direct your attention to the screen, I want you to read the blue square, the yellow square, the green square, the red square, and without overthinking it, let me know in the chat which square you actually resonate with. Are you more of a blue person? You like arguing rationally. You like solving things logically. You like performing critical analysis. Auditors out there, engineers out there, you most likely live in that blue quadrant every day. Let me know in the chat as you look at the screen, and it might be the first time that you're looking at the screen, and that's okay. But what I want you to do is drop it in the chat. Which square do you feel, this looks like me? This sounds like me. I'm definitely a green person. I am way more organized than my entire circle. Or maybe I'm in the yellow block. I can recognize new possibilities. I can see the big picture. I can problem solve in ways that others can't, that just feels intuitive. Or maybe you're in the red quadrant, where teaching and sharing and persuading just comes naturally. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. Look at those quadrants and let me know in the chat what color resonates with you. As you can see, my name, next to my name, I've indicated my color. You can rename yourself, and just at the end of your name, just slot in what color you resonate with. So you can put it in the chat and then also rename yourself and let me know. I'm seeing green. I'm seeing red. Talk to me and tell me which quadrant actually resonates with you, because we've got to start here in order to build what is the point of today's conversation. We're not going to get into the secret garden if you have not identified where you live. I see a lot of reds in this room. That's okay. I see a yellow, I see a blue. We've covered all of the quadrants. And that is excellent. That is fantastic. I love nothing more as a transformational coach than self-awareness. When you're able to step back, look at something and go, that's me. Fantastic. I can see in the chats, we've got all of the colors coming through. Now be patient with me. I'm going to change the slides and I'm going to change to the slide, which is the tool for tonight. I'm going to change to the slide, which is the secret garden. Because no matter what color you are, there are frustrations attached to that color. Let me tell you, if you are working with someone who is a yellow person, there is nothing that frustrates them more than things being repetitive, slow, drowning in detail. If you are presenting a solution, if you're an auditor and you're discussing a report, if you're problem solving with another person, then if you present a black and white slideshow to them, just monotonously going through each slide, you are going to lose a yellow person. You need slides that talk to the past, the present, and the future. You need summaries. You need highlights. You need a sense of humor if you're going to catch this person's attention. And I want you in this moment, if you are maybe not yellow, to think about the people in your environment, your stakeholders, that have actually said to you, are we not playing it safe here? There's too much numbers here. What about the qualitative stuff? Take a moment to identify the people in your life who are actually yellow and look at what frustrates them. Because in the secret garden of successful and collaborative relationships, you cannot just walk into a room with your agenda. You cannot just build a solution that speaks to what is speaking to your natural strengths or what you enjoy or what you think is important. You've got to look to other people's requirements. Let me know in the chat if you work with people who are yellow. I would love to hear from you if your manager is a yellow person. Let me know in the chat if anyone you report to is actually someone who's operating in the yellow space. And I'm going to move along quickly for the sake of time. If you are working with someone who is predominantly in the green space, this person loves order. I've seen a lot of green coming through in the chats as well. But if you're not a green person, have a look at that quadrant. Maybe you've been in a meeting and someone said, is there an agenda for this meeting? Chances are you've met a green person. Hold on, that's too many ideas. Can we just focus on one thing? You've got a green person. They do not like too many ideas at once. They do not like being fast-paced. They want to slow down. They want to go through things step by step. Now, I joke when I do this quadrants presentation because if you are married or if you are dating someone, this is free advice to get that relationship right. Because if you are a yellow person working with a green person, best you gain some organizational skills, best you learn to complete your thoughts. When we are in the room with green people, magic tends to happen. And I want you to just focus on these quadrants. Have a look at what they say. I want you to consider if you are in the room with a blue person. These are often loosely translated as our A-type personalities, an area where a lot of auditors can be found. They dislike inefficient use of time, lack of facts or data. They hate vague approaches or instructions. I have worked often with managers who are either blue or green. They don't like to play in gray areas. They want a logical approach to solve a problem. They want critical analysis. And I want you to give me an emoji again. Give me a high five. Give me a heart. Give me something if you are a blue person. Because these are the people that want to know why. Why? What is the reason that we are using this solution? These are the people that want facts and data. These are the people who are not interested in what you did during the weekend, but are interested in your solution. And finally, let's look at our red people. If you imagine a red heart, you've pretty much got our red people down. Because these are the people that are often focused on human interaction. They want eye contact, face-to-face communication. They don't take well to insensitive comments. They don't do well with everything being criticized over and over again. Now, interestingly, what I want to share with you this evening as I come to a close on sharing this information, and we are going to go into the breakout rooms and you are going to have more time to think about this. But what I want to challenge you on is that this assessment has shown that most C-suite executives, most CEOs, are you ready for it? They operate in all 4 quadrants. That means when you bring a solution to them, best it be interesting, best you use their time well, best it be organized, and best it includes the impact on teams, on people, on human beings. Some of the best conferences you've been to have spoken to all 4 conferences, all 4 quadrants. They're not too slow. They're not too fast. They look at human interaction. There's an agenda. This is how you hit the nail on the head. This is how you enter the secret garden of collaborative relationships, not by focusing on your quadrant, but before you have a meeting with other people, before you have an interaction with other people, stop and consider if you have the advantage of knowing the person and having some indication of which quadrant they may lie in to do your homework, do your preparation. If you are meeting with a group of people who are green and you have no agenda, you have too many ideas, you have unclear instructions, you've lost your stakeholders. Going back to your slide of stop, start, and continue. Having identified which quadrant you live in and have identified what frustrates other people, I want you to just, as I hand back to Thembisa, I want you to just think about what can you do differently. Have you just been living in your quadrant and taking no notice of the other quadrants and just pushing your agenda? What has been going on? I implore you to take time on these quadrants. And I implore you to understand that if you want to go fast, you'll always go alone. But if you want to go far, you will understand that we are different, that our differences can be overwhelming. But if we do the homework, if we do the preparation, we can enter the secret garden of successful, collaborative relationships. And as I hand back to Thembisa, please let me know in the chat if there's anything that you are going to start doing. Maybe the penny is dropped right now. Something that you're going to start doing already to get those collaborative relationships going. Thank you, Thembisa.